Welcome to the Own Your Identity podcast, where we empower men experiencing same-sex attraction to live a life of purpose and possibility through the power of Christ and for the glory of God. My name is Jason Mellard. I'm so glad you're here today. Come on in, have a seat. Let's go. Today, we're going to be talking about a unique place of vulnerability and motivation, the locker room. Do you remember that place? For me, I recall anxiety, fear, worry, excitement, anticipation, connectedness, joy, lots of things are associated with the locker room for me. The first experience I had was watching movies of athletes in a game time locker room, popping each other with towels, just talking about life, getting ready for the game. The coach comes in, gives some cheesy, inspiring speech, and they all grunt and cheer and run onto the field together. And that was inspiring and out of reach. I never imagined that I would be in that place. I was doing good just to run in the right direction on the soccer field. And I was pretty sure I was way too skinny to qualify for any significant sports. I know that it's not true, but that's how it felt to me when I was young. Then the second experience I can remember of a locker room was when my dad took me to his gym, and I found myself in a hot tub with adult men, some with swimsuits on, some not, and just felt a little off. As an adult now, I can look back and see that my dad was not in a healthy mindset when he entered that locker room, and that was not a place that I probably should have been. Then there was the junior high locker room. I had just moved to a new school district, and on the first day of school, we learned that we were going to have to shower after PE every day. And when I heard that, my stomach dropped. I was not up for that. Man, I didn't want to take my shirt off in front of anybody. It just was not something that I enjoyed doing. Very vulnerable, and I was not looking forward to it. So the next day when it came around, I remember standing in front of my locker in the locker room with my hands at the hem of my shirt, trying to gear myself up to take it off. And I recall Chris, this guy that I just met the day before, who was everything that I would want to be. Strong, well-built, always something to say, fit in with the other guys, led the pack. He was confident, and man, he just changed clothes without thinking twice about it. It didn't even bother him. And I waited until he was a bit distracted with the other guys, and I finally took my shirt off, went over to the shower, and managed to come back and get my pants on with a towel wrapped around me and do that whole little dance. But it was so loud in there. The sneakers were squeaking on the floors, and everybody's voices were just echoing off those CMU walls. And back in the day, they were using Axe body spray. Do you remember that stuff? I don't know if people still use that, but that was in the air, and I didn't like it. The whole thing was a miserable experience. But then I got up my blow dryer, and I plugged it in, and I was going to start blow drying my hair. Two things that I knew I could bring to this new school was my winning smile and my good hair. It's always been a thing for me. It still is. Yeah, but anyway, so then this guy says, Jason, why are you blow drying your hair? And I paused and froze, and I thought, oh, I guess this is not something anybody else is doing around here. It's just me. And I said, well, yeah, my hair just goes crazy if I don't. Pretending like, I guess it was normal. So after that, I just left my blow dryer at home. I felt like I'm out of place. I don't know what's going on here, and something is different about me. I did feel that way in that locker room. Didn't have a lot of same-sex attraction experiences. That was in ninth grade at that time, but I knew that, man, I don't know. Everybody else was kind of carefree, enjoying each other in there, and I was afraid to be seen and afraid to look at them. As I got older in college, I remember looking at porn of a locker room scene, that game time locker room that I described. And I would imagine myself in there, just one of the guys, that camaraderie, being accepted as part of the team and being appreciated for my presence, just being relaxed, and seeing and being seen. But then it would go to most of the guys clearing out, and one guy that really noticed me and really appreciated me being there, and he motioned me over to the showers. That idea of somebody wanting me that bad, that must mean I'm really one of the guys. I'm really included. I don't have to doubt it because this guy is really going the extra mile to connect with me. But that was me trying to get something that wasn't real. When what I truly wanted was being in a group of guys, being on a team I could really hold on to and be motivated by and struggle with moving forward, going out on the field together in real life. The next few times I experienced the locker room was when I was older as an adult and went to the gym, and I was not in a healthy mindset, kind of like my dad when I was a kid. And I was going in there hoping that I would see the guy that I remember back in junior high, that perfect guy that was everything I wanted to be. And I would find him and just stare at him. Like I was somehow getting his energy, his masculinity. I was feeling confident just by looking at him and imagining what it would be like to be him, to have what he had, and just escape from myself into him. If y'all have experienced that draw, you know what I'm talking about. And then I would find myself in the shower. One time I was looking across at somebody else in the shower, and I was noticing them, and they were noticing me right back. And man, that was like a drug. It felt so good to see and be seen. After that, I swore off locker rooms for a while and set that as a boundary not to enter into. Some healthy experiences with locker rooms. I've been really grateful to have those. First one was when I had a mentor who was a big swimmer, and he invited me to go swimming at a local college. He knew my whole story, knew about my same-sex attractions, and just loved me just as I was. Didn't think twice about it. We went and changed clothes, got into the pool, swam laps for a while, and then came back to shower and change. And these were the showers that didn't have curtains. It was just a bunch of shower heads along a wall. And I was like, okay, I guess we're really doing this. But he was a safe guy, and I was glad that we could just have a conversation in the shower. I knew he wasn't going to be checking me out. I wasn't going to be checking him out. And we could just enjoy being guys together. I was like him. He was like me. And it was a really great healing experience for me. 4 years ago, we moved to another part of town, and there was a YMCA nearby. And I started going there to lift weights. I enjoyed just getting to know the people there. Every morning, we'd sit around and shoot the breeze. And then they would go in the locker room. They'd change and they shower. And I thought, hey, I'm going to give it a try. So I prayed to God and just felt the green light to go and change in the locker room, shower, and do that whole thing and be part of that experience. There were no guys there that were, trying to get something from somebody else that they shouldn't. One of the swimmers and I were coming out of the pool and going into the showers at the same time. And we just got talking about his kids and his wife and what he was doing for work. He was a contractor renovating homes. And as we moved into the showers, we were having this conversation. And he doesn't close the shower curtain. I don't know. Maybe he just thinks, what's the point? We're just a bunch of guys. Why does it matter? And I got my hand on the shower curtain, about to close it. I'm thinking, I don't know. This just feels like I'm going to interrupt the conversation if I close the curtain. And so I was like, whatever. I'm going to leave it open. And I'm not checking him out. He could care less about me. And we're just talking about kitchen cabinets and how he's dealing with a problem with one of the subcontractors that's working on the house. And that was it. It's nice to be in a place where it's like, no big deal. Harrison Bly, the author of Bent on Men, if you haven't read it, you've got to. It's one of the best books on an SSA story that I've read. Was taking a shower, and his best friend was in the bathroom. They were just chatting through the shower curtain. Harrison got to the end of his shower and realized that he didn't have a towel that was within arm's reach. And he thought, well, I'll just ask my friend to get me a towel and pass it, around the shower curtain to me. And then he thought, my friend knows everything about me. He could care less if he sees me naked. And I'm just going to open the shower curtain as we're continuing to talk like it's no big deal. Just walk over and grab a towel and dry off. For him, that was a huge decision that he chose to make that represented something big in his life, saying, hey, I'm a guy, just like every other guy, and this is no big deal. I don't need to be all in my head about it. And when he shared that story in the book, I thought, oh yeah, me too. I totally relate. So Harrison, if you're listening, thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable. As I've matured, I've realized that that game time locker room that I desired the most, I'm already in that. God has given me a great purpose. He's put a team around me of other fellow believers who are both committed to knowing Christ more and making him known. I have different fields of arenas that I can step out onto courageously. I don't have to actually be in that locker room with pads on and going out onto a striped field, but I can believe that I belong there. I can decide that I'm no different than those guys. I just have a different field that I'm going on to, and it requires different preparation, a different locker room. So I want to ask you, when you think about the locker room experiences in your life, what kind of headspace have you been in when you've walked into them or thought about them? What might that tell you? The healthy longings that you had to be there, the fears that you had, anxieties, the envy, the desire to be seen, or for someone to see you. What might that reveal to you about what it is that you truly desire and what God has already given you? Most of the things that we really long for in those types of ways, I believe that God has already planted in us. We just need to allow him to grow it. Also, what is the field that you want to step out onto? What is the courageous step that you need to prepare for, that you need to get other guys, other people around you to cheer you on and team up with? Is it sharing your unwanted attractions with somebody else vulnerably? Is it pursuing a dream and sharing that with somebody else and having them come alongside you in it? Is it sharing the gospel with others that need to hear it? Whatever it is, I'd love to hear. Feel free to leave a comment or message me. I want to hear what it is that you want to step out onto in life. And finally, I believe the greatest team that we can belong to is the family of God. So if you haven't put your love and trust in Christ and accepted his free gift of salvation, I invite you to do that now. Because if you truly want that great purpose, that sense of belonging, that desire and that ownership of moving powerfully into a place where only God can take you, that's going to be the way to do it. Say yes to his invitation to come to him for salvation, for adoption into his family, and to be connected into his true vine that brings life and flourishing. And finally, I want you to know that you're not defined by whatever headspace you've been in when you've walked into a locker room. You're defined by the one who calls you his. You've got this, and God's got you. I'll talk with you soon.